There we go. Now we live. Funky Uncle live. Let's see here. Okay. So G said give him a sec and he'll be on. He's just getting off. We got to get himself together. I did get a text from Lori saying she had a family emergency, so she won't be able to make it tonight. We prayers up for her and the family. Make sure everything, we want everything to go well with her. Zika will. She said she'll jump in a little later. Got otherly duties to do. So let me start it off like this and say happy belated birthday to my man Circle K. He about 1,005 now. So he
1,005, the new 35.
Right. So how's it feel, man? How's it feel? Another one in the books.
Yeah, in the words of the great Barry Wright, show you right.
For sure.
Yeah.
What'd you do for it, man? What'd you do for your birthday?
Hung out with my circle is very small, so
yeah,
went out to Uncle Nearest, hung out there, tried the new whiskey at Uncle Nearest, had me some close to home shrimp and grits.
Okay.
And I did the shrimp and grits. Then went out. Me and my friends, went out to Buffalo Wild Wings, watched South Carolina Gamecocks, go Cox. We beat up on Texas. Beat up on Texas A&M. Beat those guys up. And then also, they're watching their team, Tennessee and playing Kentucky. So that was a game.
Yeah. Okay, so you had an eventful weekend.
Yeah, somewhat.
Nothing wrong with that. I was sleeping.
Hey. Yeah.
And listen.
And then I got up, my alarm in my head, woke me up, in the normal time. And like, man, time went back. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to get used to that. So, that was the whole deal. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I get off from work now. I'm like, okay, it's 6 o'clock. Why does it look like it's 8 or 9?
Yeah, that part.
It's going to take some getting used to. And by the time you get used to it, it'll be time for me to switch again.
That part. Yeah, that part.
Oh, man. So we can start off talking about what everybody else is talking about. The election. I really don't want to put too much time into it because it is what it is.
Yeah, it was done. Done is done. I mean, I feel that, my opinion, I felt like the deck was, stacked against her, and now it wasn't ready for this, ready for a female president. I mean, I was ready for it, Only thing is that, everybody got their own opinions and their, their way of living or, policies and procedures and politics and all that. But my thing is the morals of, just blatantly disrespecting people, citing riots and it's basically, putting it out there, So that was my biggest thing, one guy said, excuse me, he said everybody worrying about 3 cents added to gas, the thing is the biggest picture, you're trying to get this, individual not getting in the White House because what he believes in, he camouflages, but everybody know what it is. So
right.
Let's get her in the seat and we can go ahead and resolve that situation once she's in the seat. So, but hey, some people got their priorities messed up. I mean, people looking for that STEMI check, saying stuff like that. But it is what it is. I mean, it's not gonna. And the thing about it, and I may be wrong, but then again, I might be right because it's not going to affect us. I mean, us, the middle class people, because we work all the time. It's going to affect the people on low class who's getting Medicaid or Medicare, whatever you call it, or public assistance and all that stuff. So what they're going to do is put their feet to the fire and they got to work now. You know, of course, the 1%ers, they're gonna get that big tax break. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
immigration, you know, they crack down on immigration and stuff like that. So deportation, you know that because they ain't gonna do the job. So you know they're gonna deport all the a mass deportation back to Mexico. That's gonna be very interesting. So you know what I mean? Because you know they ain't gonna do the job. You know, and you know Earl and Leroy ain't. I ain't going in no hot sun picking out no tomatoes. You know, I mean, sorry, but you know that's what it is.
We did it at one point, but this is not the same time.
Oh,
And it's crazy that, you know, while you bring that up, and you know they're talking about the mass deportation and things like that, they're still going to have problems because, for one, a lot of us aren't going back to that. For one, for two, you think about the price you're going to have to pay us in order to. So you're going to have a lot of wasted crops. Okay. Unless you have some machines that's going to do the work.
Yeah.
And even when you have machines that do the work, it still takes humans to put it all together. So it's a tricky situation for those who've never farmed. You see, and it goes back to the same concept that most, companies do. Large companies, you have people on the top trying to tell people on the bottom what should be going on, but the people on the top have never experienced what's going on the bottom. So, you know, they're giving you concepts and theories, but those theories, they don't work in reality. Nigga, man, Rodney.
Hey,
what's going on, Rodney?
What's up, Rodney?
Doing a good job, man.
Yeah.
But the funny thing, there, the young man, he all of a sudden he don't have amnesia no more because he said, "Oh, I don't know nothing about Project 2025. You know this and that. I don't know nothing about it." Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, okay, Project 25 in full effect now. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting back and I'm see what's gonna go on or what's gonna happen. You know.
Look, a lot of people got what they want, basically.
Oh yeah.
In the long run, for one, there were people who didn't want a woman. There were people who didn't want a black woman. There were people that didn't want a black person. Period. There were people who, in their own right, each candidate had flaws that were highly spotlighted. So you know, it was like I can understand a lot of people different reasons, because they're like, look, if you know, when she was in California, she was locking people up like long term for minor crimes. I can only imagine what type of bill she's gonna try to push if she's in the office.
But the thing about it was only 40 people that she prosecuted though.
40. Only 4. Think about 40 of the people that you know that you feel you might be close to. That's a large number. That's a large number. I mean, that's just in that area. You know, you say now we're talking about people who could possibly be in a larger group. Now, that's why I say I'm not agreeing anything. I'm just trying to see where they're coming from. And, you know, and unfortunately, with our generation and the generations that follow, money motivates money basically erases a lot of flaws. How Chris Rock said, money will turn a ball spot into a park. So as long as with Trump has had the money and has had that name that's associated with money for so long, and then not to forget the STEMI that came through, which people like you mentioned, people are going to think about the STEMI, but they don't do their research saying, well, you know, that STEMI was in effect long before he signed for it.
Exactly. He held up the process because
he held up the process. Right.
When he put his name on it. So that's
right. Wow. And so they're thinking it was his idea. It came from him. Nah, it wasn't his idea. It didn't come from him. It was just, he decided, hey, this is going to possibly help me get reelected if it's, and I remember when the STEMIs came out. The STEMIs came out when it was leading up to election time again.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do that when he first got in, or whenever the bill originally came out? See, he's playing a mind game. He's been playing a mind game.
He took a page out of Nike's book. You know, bringing the Air Force Ones out. You come out a certain time of the year.
Right. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It is what it is. We're gonna see in, let's see, what he's sworn in. He's inaugurated in what, January?
Yeah.
So I can say by June, July, we'll see what type of comic relief we're going to get out the White House this time. Because the last time it was like it was scripted. Because you wouldn't think that somebody would be considered that quote unquote successful. Let me get up 2 quotes here. Quote unquote successful, but be that, I'm trying not to say F it. Be that stupid. You know, you would think, how could you made all this money and you're talking about people in the present tense that died 200 years ago. You know, you're just this so assertive and you don't care, but that's how he's always been. But that's who people wanted in office for whatever reason.
Man, look at it. I mean, this guy is like, what, $1.8 million in debt? He done wiped his debt. I guess he's going to exonerate himself from all those 34 charges, you know. And then you saw Bootsy. Bootsy said, can he get his record expunged?
Right.
I'm like, and then, you know, the joke is not a joke, but it might come to real light, you know, saying Diddy done sent him a letter, you know, say, hey, man, help me out, brother, you know. So,
I let you go to the parties.
I know, right? Yeah,
but I was speaking to a young dude earlier today, and he was saying something, and then I was listening to some people on TikTok, and I just seeing where people are coming from, and they said in some ways Harris really kind of offended some people on the campaign trail with the people that she brought out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats, they go say, well, Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, yada, yada, yada. However, when you're looking to get serious voters, you need to have serious people, not gimmicks. And I understand, in my way of thinking, I'm thinking that maybe with all the flack about is she black and this, that, and the third, that kind of swayed her to go a way that possibly really didn't, go in her favor.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
I mean, do you think if she went with the other Democrat candidate to be her VP, you think that outcome would have been different?
I'm not sure, because
I mean, you gotta look at it. He's young, he's Jewish.
Mm-hmm. And they run the world. I mean, they run the entertainment industry. But
exactly. So I think it'll be a more effective gamble. I don't want to say gamble if she had elected him as his VP, as a VP.
Well, that may have swayed. That may have taken a good percentage. That would have gone in her favor. But I think that all in all, she went about it the wrong way. I think she went, and this is the first election that I can remember. Maybe I didn't pay as much attention to the last one or the one before that or one before that. But there was more campaigning on mudslinging than the issues.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that a few minutes ago because she was trying to run it clean. You know what I'm saying? Then she fell in the trap in his world, and that's when the mudslinging. Yeah. And I think Waltz, he kicked it off. Then when they came out that night, and he came out swinging. So
yeah, I mean, I understand people going to dig up dirt. People going to dig up dirt. Oh, yeah. We're in the social media era. That's what they do. Things have a way of either sticking with you or flying by, whatever. But the most you can do is stand on who you are. But when you're campaigning and nobody knows who you are, because the majority of things that come out of your mouth, the people that support you, is what the other person is. I mean, where can they gauge who you are?
Yeah, but when like now, if you look at it now, you know, if you when you were at birth, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be squeaky clean, you know. Oh, you scream at the doctor when you got spanked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got, you know, all that's gonna be, you know, gonna come back up. So you gotta be real squeaky clean if you're gonna be in politics, man. And this, you know, back then it was different. Now is, you know, like I said, it's an open book. They can, you know, at your fingertip. If it's not the cell phone, it's in the computer, laptop, or you know, a tablet or anything. You know, you got that digital imprint. You know that.
Yeah.
You know, once you get that digital imprint, you're in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There we go. There we go. We got G on the set.
Gentlemen,
Tonight.
how y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, man. Doing all right.
Good. I sorry I'm late, but I'm here. Another episode.
Yeah.
Man.
I was telling Kate.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I was telling Kay that Lori was supposed to be on tonight, and she had a family emergency. So, you know, we're still waiting to see if Zika can come through after she said she had to put her son down. You know, and somebody's being a parent. You know how that goes. We've all had to.
Absolutely.
We got to salute anybody that's actually being a parent and not letting the internet raise their kids, letting the streets raise their kids or whatever. So that's, you know, yeah. Most definitely, yeah.
But hey, we can still chop it up. It's a lot going on, brother. You know, it's a lot going on.
No doubt. That's what we were doing. We were going over, you know, saying election, how we see things and things like that. You know, now that we don't have Diddy in the news anymore as much, thank God.
But what are Diddy's criminal charges though? What's the criminality of it?
Oh man, how many? Let me Google.
No, I don't know. I mean, I know he's a weird freak, devilish motherfucker, but where's the criminality in it? You know,
well, was it what they call it?
Sex trafficking?
Sex trafficking is probably one of the larger ones. Because and with all the things that were going on, I don't know. Is it a crime to really record somebody without them knowing?
Yes.
In some states, yeah.
So you got that, and you have extortion because basically they were using that to extort people.
Right.
So
even like, you know, like the recording, right? So like in some states, like, you know, like our trucks, you know, from the other company I was working for and the new company I'm working for now, and you have cameras in the trucks, you have, you know, camera facing out, facing the road and facing inside the cab, and have audio. Some states you cannot have audio. You know, you cannot.
Yeah. So I mean,
crazy. I was just asked, man. I mean, I'm not taking up for him or trying to side with him. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you are entertainer and you taking grown women across interstate lines
for sex,
consentingly, not against their will, I thought that was part of the game. To me, you know,
I think. Well, here it is. They're federal charges. So what I've learned when it comes to the feds, it's all in the wording. So even though there may be some, what you could say consent, they're going to say for the purpose of, you know, and they're even throwing the word consent even out of the charge. So the feds, that's why they say the feds don't lose, because they're going to word it in a way when you're like, dang, I mean, this was something normal, but from how they're explaining it, it's something illegal.
Yeah, that's that legal talk.
Yeah.
That legal, but legal doesn't always mean right. So
ain't that the truth?
I'm gonna land my plane there with that one. I'm gonna land my plane on that one. But
we lived hundreds of years of that one.
I just want to give my thoughts on the election real quick. I didn't vote this year. I sat this one out. You know,
I know you didn't vote.
No. Didn't vote. However, whoever voted for who, the results are in, and Trump is president, right? They confirmed that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
confirmed.
Okay. Well, we gonna see.
Yeah.
We gonna see. So that's all I'm gonna say. We gonna see. He promised a lot of things. You got to hold his feet to the fire with that shit. We cannot
Right.
let him, skate under. No.
Can't let him
Nah.
Democrat his way out of this.
No, nah, we can't do that. Nah. And speaking of the Democratic Party,
That's why I
Man.
said it.
dude, if the Democratic Party does not like black men, I'm gonna say it like that. They don't. They don't like us, man. It was
They don't
evident in this
respect
year's
us for sure.
that too. That's even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a land my plane right there. Let's talk about something. Yeah. Everybody got to make up their own individual minds, so I'm gonna just leave the choice up to the individual. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. And
Yeah.
I'm still at the point where until someone can give me an explanation that is logical, it doesn't make sense to me why we're in such an uproar about voting for the president when the electoral college is going to give their points to whomever they want.
Right. Yeah. Well,
They
it's
know
definitely
before.
Yeah.
They know before we cast our ballot who's getting those. I don't care who gets the popular vote. Whatever state wants to give whatever candidate their votes, those points, that's who gets it. So it's like, if you didn't vote, if I'd have voted, you mean to tell me that one vote would have turned this state from red to blue? If these 10 people over here, they would have turned it from red to blue? No, it wouldn't.
You would have had an electoral college vote.
Right.
Your one vote. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I just saw a clip with George Carlin talking about George Carlin
he be dropping some heavy now. He be dropping some heavy.
I wish he was alive so he could, keep it going. Because this joker said a lot of people like to say that if you don't vote, then you cause the problem. He said, nah. Actually, y'all flipped it because you're the one that voted. You're the one that put them in there. And you see what we had to go through, so it's your fault.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you can't blame the person that didn't vote.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So,
yeah, man.
So what else y'all brothers got going on? Yeah, HD was good. Hunky Dory.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Nothing much, man. We here. How cold is it up there in Wisconsin, man? Green Bay.
Yeah, it's cold. It's always cold, man. But we've been surprised for the number of years. You know how it is here in the Midwest. So yeah. But how you all doing today? What's new?
Man, listen.
I don't even entertain what's going on with as far as the president. I mean, it is going to be what it's going to be, and
exactly.
It's sad to say that. But what else are you going to do? The people are going to.
It's always been that way, though. It's always been that way. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Because if you think about it, the people are going to make at some point, because it can't get totally out of control because somebody's going to speak on it, right?
Right.
I guess that's where my favor lies, with the people, and hoping that at some point, because we're used to dealing with the stresses of life and characteristics of, presidential candidates. I mean, we've always felt like oust anyway. At some point, it's good to have hope, though.
Yeah, that hopium. A lot of people got that hopium. I don't smoke that hopium.
Nor do I.
That's it. I try that. I don't smoke that hopium, man.
Man, listen. I was telling somebody else the other day, the best we can do is do what we can do for our community, and basically let that community not just be those around us. Like we're doing right now. We have the opportunity, to speak to others that aren't around us, to answer questions, to be there for people, to help them avoid pitfalls. That's the best that we can do, because from what I've seen, waiting on the government to help us,
Good
Oh,
luck.
we'll be waiting a long time. We'll be dead and gone. Grandkids, great grandkids, dead and gone, waiting, like you say, on the hopium, just trying to see where somebody else is going to help us, and until we get to the point where we can convince a large group of us to combine and unify, despite where we don't get along, it's going to remain that way. That's how so many other groups have surpassed us in areas, because they know that working together is the key. We don't worry about, they're not going to worry about my personal issues with you, because the main goal is what this is. The main goal is here. I'm not worried about everything in this area here, because we're going to work together to get to this point right here. But everybody said, oh, when we were here, we did this. We're not worrying about that. It's like when you're a parent, the main focus should be the child, right? If you're raising a child, right.
Should be. Yeah.
And that's what successful parenting does, where you put the child's well-being, not what's best for you, not what's going to make the house the quietest or whatever. The main goal is to have a successful child rearing experience. Now, of course, we're gonna fail in some areas, but we get opportunity to make it up in others. But when it comes to that unity, people they think, oh, well, I don't agree with you with that, I'm just throwing this away.
Yeah.
That's what they do with relationships as well.
I mean, yeah, but I hope I ain't gonna smoke that hopium tonight. I think I believe, and my theory is, I think most black people, you made some good points, D, but I think most black people know that. You know what I mean? I think in general, most black people know that we got to come together, man. And we've been saying it for a long time, bro. And not saying that we can't, but it's gonna take. I don't know. I'm just so confused when it comes to that sometimes, because I think most of us know. It's just a matter of organizing.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, we weren't raised the same way our grandparents was raised, and that's why people would say, I really don't agree with a lot of this new age parenting, because it's like, okay, you want your child to be an individual, okay, I get it, but now you're only worrying about your child, but your child's affected by other people's kids. So why wouldn't you want to affect the entire group to really help your child? And it's like the foresight isn't there, because in we got to say, I hate to say it like this, but when it is emotionally driven instead of logically driven, it's going to be like that. And unfortunately, we have a lot of men who don't have the foresight, because they've banged their head against it so much that they've given up. I'm trying to do this the right way. Yeah, you're going to have to go through something to get somewhere. But there's too many people now want to skip steps. They don't want to go A, B, C, D. They want to go from A to F. And then when you get to G, you missed everything with B, D, B, C, D. You missed all this, so you don't know what you're doing. So you wind up being stuck, because you've been taught and raised, don't go back, don't worry about, don't do this, just go from where you are. And those other cultures, and some of us, because there are lots of us that have gone through it, who took those steps, will get to where you are and pass you. And now you're looking at them.
If I can interject real quick, D, I want to hit on something before I lose my thought. You said we got to give back to the community. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I tried that. I tried giving back to the community by, this is a personal experience now. I know everybody don't go through this, but I tried giving, I'll make a long story short. I tried giving back to the community, coaching youth football. And a lot of things went sideways. And I don't think I ever told this story, but here we go. My coaching style is my coaching style is militant and brash, you know, when I coach
Yes.
football. And that's because that's the way I was coached.
Right.
But when I was coaching a few years ago, like back in 2015, 2014, I got down on a kid real hard. Some of the kids could take it, and I thought he could take it, but he ended up swinging on me, man. And he caught me. He caught me. And of course, the man in me reacted, and I swung at the kid, but I missed him. But I'm glad I missed him, because if I hit him with that punch I swung at him with, I'd have probably been in jail, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I missed him. But nevertheless, once I caught my balance after missing him, I went into wrestling mode and just WWF'd him real quick, you know?
Yeah.
By then I knew I wouldn't coach it no more. So I just gave him a little UFC joint and ended practice, you know? So in other words, a lot of brothers don't want to give back to the community because they don't appreciate it, man. The parents don't appreciate it, and the kids don't appreciate it. Not all of them,
Right.
but enough of them to make brothers say, "Nah, man, I can't." Because when they bring them to you at football practice, you their babysitter. Yeah, you in charge of them. You watching them. You watching these kids. These are your kids. So that's giving the mom a break. You think she appreciate that shit? Hell no. So, and that was a personal experience. And I know a lot of brothers had similar experiences and just say, look, I'm done with coaching. And, you know, I want to give back to the kids. I want to help the youth, but it just ain't worth it, man. And I wasn't getting paid. No. This was all out of my heart. Just wanting to give back to the community, man. So that's just a personal experience, but that's why I'm reluctant to give back because of that experience, you know, personally.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it goes to some parents wanting to make things so easy for their kids that once again they skip some things. There's a level of respect that should be given. First and foremost, there's a level of respect that should be given to an adult. But if the child does not have to show that level of respect at home, what do you think they're going to do when they get out?
Yeah, but in the black community, the boys are coddled and the girls are raised.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The boys are coddled and the girls are raised, man. You know? So
to a degree, because then once they get to a certain point.
Because
I'm saying that as far as the girls.
Yeah, that's true. The black community is a matriarchy. The men don't run the black community. No, we don't run the black community.
No.
Black women run the black community. Remember, backbone of the community? They wasn't talking about your black ass. No.
Part of that is because they have the kids, they have the control, they have the governmental backing, they have the police backing.
We're the only community that does that. All other ethnicities don't do that. They know they need their men. And so you think I'm gonna fight for a community that don't give a shit about me? No, I'm not gonna do that. Nah. You think I'm gonna fight for a community that women run the community and look down on me? No, I can't do that. That's just me, though.
I had to find the like minds. Right.
You know, and I'm all for the community being saved, but since they're the backbone of the community, let them save it. Right?
Not when they don't know how. Most of them don't know how to. To.
Right. So when that title came and they took that title and ran with it and looked down on men, we the backbone, we the back. Okay, we'll fix the fucking community then. That's my thought. But I land my plane. Somebody else could be.
I'll have to ask this question because like we had a prior conversation when it comes to the gentle parenting and the, this, that, and the third. We have to ask ourselves, let's look at what's been going on since. Because you'll say, oh, well, you can't do what we did in our grandparents' generation, but at the same time, you can't ask for men to be the same as they were in your grandparents' generation. Right. So you can't change the design just to make things easier on you. If you don't have to put in any work, then there's something wrong with the theory. And that goes on both sides.
Right.
You can't say that
Right.
all men this, all women that. Whatever
Mhm.
you say that makes it where your side doesn't have to put in any work to change or to make something happen, you need to
Nothing's gonna
refocus.
right. Nothing.
You cannot put all the work on one side. So,
No.
as you were saying, when you have these parents, and a lot of times it is just the mother for various reasons.
Right.
It's not always her fault that she
But
is the only one,
let's go
but
let's
it's
go
not.
with the reason. Let's go with the reason in our community. Niggas ain't shit. Let's go with that one.
That is what is said, but I know so much better. I know so much better. I can say one out of every three. So if we working with 66%, that's good. I still think that's pretty good because I think that's going to be about the same in a lot of communities. If we
Mhm.
at 66%, that's doing what they supposed, that's at least trying to do what they're supposed to do. But you have these reasons like I don't want him around any other chick. I want my child around any other chick. You got other dudes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if you don't have no money to put in my hand, then hold up. You still eating, you living, and the child wants to spend time with me. Now, if you let the child spend time with it and the child changes their mind, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. If the child, look, I'm being neglected. This joker sitting me in a room, going out there, smoking weed, chilling. Okay, yeah. But if you don't give a person an opportunity to do something, you don't know what they're going to do. You can't say because you think, no, excuse me, you feel that a
Feel
person is going to, that's it. That's it.
feelings
Nothing else but feelings.
in your
So,
fifis.
but the
Fifis.
easier you want to make it on the child, the harder it's going to be on you later on. That's
You gotta cut.
why,
You gotta still cut the ass, bro.
exactly. That's why there should be two parents, or there
Mhm.
should at least be a mother and father figure. A lot of cats that grew up with a grandmother and grandfather, and that grandfather cut that behind, they straight.
Yeah.
They straight because they
My
had the
granddaddy
two
sure used to cut
energies.
my ass, boy.
Hey, like we were talking about last week, uh, we live in a world of convenience, and the
That's it.
dominance is really geared toward uh, what women want and
Mm-hmm.
what men would not necessarily put up with anymore. Men are starting to realize the value
Mm-hmm.
of their work,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
women are becoming more and more adorned with their outward beauty, thinking that they're going to attract the, as you would call them, the Boaz. When Boaz is not a physical man, Boaz is a spiritual man. So when you look at that and you look at men just in general, in a sense, and I'll put it to it like this, Uncle G, so I won't, offend a lot of people.
Go ahead and
Being
offend
a
him, HB.
man, no, I'm not going to offend him. I'm not going to offend him. Being a man or a dad is a thankless job.
Hell yeah.
To,
Man, say
to
that one
some
more
to the
time, brother.
most
Say that
degree.
one. No, you got to
All
say
right,
that
I'm
one more
going to say it
time, brother.
again. Being a man and a dad, for the most part, is a thankless job compared to that of a mother. Now, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, mothers have a hard job. I
Yeah.
give it that.
Yeah.
But so do men. We're expected to be strong. We're expected to not have, so much of a bite about certain things that we get sensitive about. We can't be allowed to express the emotion that we so
Mm-mm.
feel,
Can't.
or from the point of just being logical over the emotional. Sometimes we have to debate the emotional with the logical in hopes that maybe we can get on one accord. But for the most part, we're left with the notion of trying to appease. As they came up with, they said, happy wife is a happy
Oh
life. Why
gosh.
did that come from? Where did it come from? It sure the hell didn't come from me. It didn't come from me. But it came
No.
from the idea that you got to please the woman. And
Yeah.
the sad and unfortunate thing about it is that we're still living in that era. The more we sit up here and continue this chain of events, we're finding ourselves more and more in that era where we just either accept that this is the norm of what is going on in the society of women and men versus men, or you don't put up with it and you become a damn eunuch.
Don't put up with it. Stand your ground. That's what I say.
There's
Stay in your
gonna
mat.
look.
Stay in your frame. You ain't
There's
gonna have many
always
friends.
gonna
You
be
ain't gonna be
some. Yeah,
popular, but you know, stand your ground in masculinity, man. They ain't gonna like you now.
But see, it's not just toward
But
relationships. It's toward like being a father, you know, as a dad
everything.
myself
Yeah.
personally, or whatever the case is. It's everything.
Yeah,
It's all
everything.
those things that come together.
Yeah.
You don't have the same honor system as you would from a mother's perspective. And you can do everything that in your power. You know, I don't know if many of you all are dads or anything else, but you know, you can do whatever you can possible to try to make sure that the men's are there. And you mean it all in fairness and love and everything else. But you know, when it comes down to it, you hate to have to look at it like that. But you versus the mom, you want to
gotta
short
call it
end
like
of
it
the
is.
stick.
They are.
You want the
And the
short end of
laws,
the stick.
the laws show that, because when I was going through my divorce and my then wife, she stepped out on the marriage and got pregnant. In court, the judge tell me, in the state of South Carolina, if you marry and your wife steps out and cheat and get pregnant, you as the husband are responsible for the baby. I said, ma'am, wait a minute, Your Honor. You mean to tell me that I gotta be responsible for this child when it's not my child? She stepped out of the marriage? Yes, sir. That is the law. Bam, hit the gavel on the desk. Get your black ass out of here. I'm telling you, if
listen.
bruh,
There
it's
was
crazy.
an article I read in a newspaper. You know how long ago that was? It was in the newspaper.
Crazy, bro.
Years ago, that was saying something crazy. I don't want to misquote it, but it's saying something along the lines that in the state of California, if a woman puts your name on the birth certificate,
Yeah,
you ought to hold up. I don't even know
yeah.
this chick. How did
Bruh,
my name get on the birth certificate?
that
Hold
done
up,
happened to a
hold
lot
up.
of brothers, man. That happened to a
Yo,
lot of brothers.
that's crazy.
And ain't nobody talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Ain't no laws being changed to try to stop this shit.
that's
That's what
crazy.
that's what most men are really talking about. The laws of things. It's not marriage, it's the laws of marriage. You know what I'm
And
saying? It's
when you see a lot of these clips on social media, the guys that what I like to pay attention to is the amount of likes certain clips get. You understand?
Mhm.
When I find
Oh yeah.
these clips that are speaking the logical truth and this, that, and the third, first thing I'm looking for is the likes. The second thing I'm going for is I'm going in the comments.
yes,
Because
sir. That's where they
I
tell the
want to
truth at.
that's where I want to gauge,
You
what
get
other
yes.
people are. Yeah, because I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out this human nature thing as much as possible. Because that's how I deal. I deal with customer service. So
Right.
me understanding people is definitely to a benefit of me as well as doing what we do now.
You
So
Right.
can tell the
it's like,
balance of a good man just about just what you said. You know what you are? You're that Boaz I'm talking about. You're the one that's observant. You didn't sit up here and go after the woman that with the adorning beauty and everything else. You just said just that. You're observing.
yeah.
You're looking in the comments. You're doing certain things to kind of look. While the women are sitting up here, they're saying that they want a Boaz. That means they're looking for someone to be when it ain't the actuality the root.
No, but see,
Right.
the difference in that from what I've observed is that whatever sounds good is what
Oh
they
yeah.
agree with.
There you
Because
go.
what you really want, anything that you want or get in life that's worth anything, you're gonna have to put in some type of work. Now,
Amen.
putting in some
That's
type
right.
of work means there's going to be a change of actions and or attitude. And if neither of those things are, if you have not positioned yourself to be that type of submissive feminine woman, if you have not positioned yourself to be that, that means you have to transform into that. And you cannot transform into that if you're not changing what you already are.
Amen. That's it right there, man. I don't know
You
why
well,
people decide
it's going.
that they want to change before they actually, they want to change when they get into a relationship, as if they, oh yeah, my man, why would I do that? No,
It's like-
you already have to be. A
yeah.
man
Right.
is already husband. A man has to be husbandly, so they look for the man. They look for a man to be such and such. So that means he has to be husbandly. So why shouldn't a wife have to already be wifely? There are
Because-
already things that are in place. Like I said again, Ruth was wifely. She continued in her role because, even at the point when she knew that she could have went on her way as a widow, she did not. She stayed in the role. And
Yeah.
Boaz saw that. And he said to himself, who do we have here working out in the field?
And the scriptures tell you, he who finds a wife,
He found, and meaning he observed, he looked.
meaning when he
saw.
find you, you already in that.
You're
Right.
already
You're
in
already
the
wife.
mold.
Yeah,
You're already a wife.
that's how he
She was
finds
already.
one.
She was wifely already.
Don't wait
She
till you
said,
meet
"I will
somebody
go." She
then
told
try.
Naomi. Yes. She
Welcome
told
to the
Naomi,
show, Vicky.
"I will go with you." Hello, Vicky.
Honey, hello. How are
What's
you?
up, Vic? What's going on?
Hi. I'm
Hey.
good. I had to turn that camera off. I was like, wait a second. I want everybody to see me. I wasn't ready for all that. I'm well. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're
Beautiful.
doing well tonight. We started out on one thing, and as we do, we traversed into something else. How long have you been listening in?
I've been off and on. I came on the first time, then I had to step away for a little bit. So in and out for a few minutes. So yeah. I heard you guys start talking about politics at the beginning, and then I kind of I tuned off a little bit because that's depressing. So then I
What's your thoughts on it, Vic? What's your thoughts on the
Oh,
politics
my
that happened today? Give us a
goodness.
brief summary
Well,
of what you think.
Well, what I did is I made sure I didn't watch any news last night. And I didn't even check any social media this morning on purpose. And then when I finally did look at it and I saw what had happened, I said, okay. I said, all righty, I'll just go to work and just continue
Yeah.
living my life. And
Same
you
thing.
know,
Yeah.
we made it when he was in there 4 years ago, and I'll just continue to make it this way. Just continue doing what I do,
There you go.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it. That's it.
That's it.
Not depressed because I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna do the best I can to be the person that I need to be, regardless of who's in office, and just continue to do my civic duty when I can. So that's how
There
I
you
look
go.
at it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well put.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
I have some Trump supporters at my job, and they've just been, even before the election, they were on it. And I'm like, oh, Trump this. I was like, why are you so concerned about him? Because nothing that he does is for you.
Mhm.
I told him, I say, you don't make enough money for him to really care about you. But you all up in arms about him. Anybody has anything to say, and you can't tell me you can't tell me one thing that he did. These jokers told me, well, he built that wall.
Oh,
I
did
said, what wall? I said, the Great Wall of China was already built. I don't know what wall you talking about.
Oh my goodness.
But it's kind of indicative of, and something else I explained to them, people who are so biased to a party that they pay no attention to what's really going on.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we've done that as a people for far too long with the Democratic Party, which is why I really can understand why people say, well, we've been voting Democrat for all this time. Let's try the other side. Because they're
60
really
years.
thinking, how much worse can it be? I mean, they've
Right.
done nothing for us in all this time. Let's see what else we can get on the other side. Maybe we can get a scrap or something off the other side, because we haven't even gotten a bone on this side. We had to dig in the dirt and eat the grass. So maybe we can get a morsel of meat.
And they still want you to vote for
Right.
I just want my interest rates to go down on my mortgage. So whatever happens,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm praying for. So whoever it is, just let these suckers come down some.
And I want my wages to go up, and I want
Right.
inflation to come down. I want groceries to come down. So
Please.
everything else, I really don't. That's all I
Want
want.
cube steak to go down?
There you go. There you go, HD. There you go, babe, with some gravy on it. Put the gravy down too.
There's a
The gravy got to come down
and
too.
some
Gravy
wild
hot.
rice.
Well, man.
Yeah, it's
A
just
small glass of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Oh,
look at
All that
here.
shit high.
Right now we gotta drink Flavor Aid. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
Hey, don't sleep on Flavor Aid. You know, you
Or
can
don't sleep on them great value pouches either, nigga. Them great value.
man, listen.
Really? Wow.
We
Flavor
gonna
Aid
wash
was
it
when you
down.
didn't get the Kool-Aid
That
on
strawberry
sale.
lemonade is good, bro.
Oh.
Hey, and don't forget wireless, because it was wireless when you didn't get the sale on Kool-Aid. Then you put either one
Yeah,
on
the
instead.
wireless.
Then you had to get
Yeah.
Flavor Aid.
Oh my
Then you
gosh,
would
I
have
hadn't
Forgot
known
had
about
either
Kool-Aid
wireless
that.
in
or Kool-Aid was in
forever.
there.
Oh man, they gonna put you back on King Vitamin. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Mhm.
that King Vitamin was, My man, I saw a
What?
dude the
That
other
shit
day
is
talk
shit.
about, hey, you got 10 seconds before it gets soggy.
Yeah, and you gonna still eat them.
Man, listen, you get the biggest bowl you can find in the house. The biggest bowl.
And that's what my brothers used to do. That's why I ain't so big now, because they ate up all the damn food. They got it before we woke up in the morning. You know, when you got 5 brothers, boy, you'd be like, damn, I miss it again.
We
5
just
boys,
opened
I
that
know y'all
box
ate
of
it.
cereal.
Right. It only took one person to get a real big bowl.
That's it.
Who ate up all the damn cereal? I bought 4 boxes open here. It wasn't me. I was looking forward to it in the morning.
Vicky, I got a question. What are your thoughts on today's relationship between black men and black women? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh my goodness gracious. Since I am in that single, state right now, I mean it's a little difficult. I mean,
Mhm.
if you I I stay working. I work all the time, and then so I do not routinely just kind of go out, clubbing and meet people. So
Mhm.
the social media with the dating sites have been something that I've delved into, and that's a little different because you just don't really um know the motives of everyone that you're dealing with, so
Right.
you just kind of have to take things one day at a time and just not try to go into it with preconceived notions. So
Mhm.
I'm a person that feels like there's somebody for everybody, and you just kind of I just try to just not be so anxious to hop into a relationship. I'm thinking that we all should just, whoever's, I don't know what the status is of anyone out there, but just kind of get to know a person um
Mhm.
genuinely, trying to see who they are, and then take it step by step. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
difficult.
agree.
I think it can
Mhm.
be very difficult because you just don't really know. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Everybody's 2 or 3 hours away. The ones that are right next to you,
Yeah.
the ones that are
Yeah.
in your same
Amen to that.
neighborhood. Yeah, so it's difficult, but um, it's all right.
Yeah.
There's good.
Yeah.
There's some solid dudes out there. So I try to just just kind
Okay.
of take it how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a
Yeah. I can
question.
understand that. Hmm.
I have a
Mhm.
question. And I'll tell you, Vicky, on the Funky Uncles, you don't have to sugarcoat anything. Yeah,
Okay.
we want you straight up raw because we want you to express yourself in a manner that there's no way for us to misconstrue what you're saying.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So I see you. You jump around. Nah, we don't do it like that. We gonna call a spade no matter whose hand it's in.
Okay. Okay. I
That's
Call
hear
how
you.
balls
we
and
do.
strikes. We call balls and strikes. Hmm.
So what is your view of how society, no, how black women see black men in today's society? Now, you can give us one side, or you can give us two sides, or you can give us three sides, because there's always, there's not just one side, because you have one group doing this, another group doing that, another group doing that. But how do you see, as far as, and when I say this, I mean in terms of trying to make things work with black men, not just how they see them, but like, do you see a lot of black women, family members, friends, social media, whatever it is, trying to go about ways to make things work with black men? Or do you see them more trying to be the same and make black men work for them?
Mm. Um, I'm not really. I don't really have friends like that, so I really don't know how they go. I mean, just for me, I can only speak for me, and what I see is so you're asking me, do I feel like black men are really are solid ones, are really coming and trying to? I mean, I don't really know the question. So say it
Do
again
you
for me.
do you, okay? Do you feel that black men are seen as valuable enough for
Oh,
a black woman to work towards making things, put forth the
oh.
effort towards making it work?
Absolutely.
You see a lot of that?
Absolutely. I do, and I look at it from, point of views where, I mean, I see a lot of men that are truly and honestly, wanting to find that person that can get them off a dating site, to get them out these streets or whatever, get them off whatever they're doing. So I do see that. I see it in family members, my brothers, my cousins. I see that they want to be happy, and so yeah, I do see that. And then, of course, in any group of society, you're gonna have those ones that are out there, for the streets, community D, as people may say, or community
Those
E, whatever you want
harlots
to
and those horrors,
those whoremongers, whatever you want to call them.
whoremongers.
Yeah, so they're everywhere. I mean, but
Hmm.
but um I feel like there are good people out there, and I try not to just sit and judge a whole group of just people by a bad apple here and there. I know there's decent people out there, and I know there are people that just just want to be happy, or and most people in this world just kind of want a little bit of that peace, that part where
Hmm.
they can go to their work and do their thing, and then
Hmm.
come home
Hmm.
and have some sense of like, okay, I can breathe and be in my sanctuary and still be happy. So
Right.
yeah, I definitely feel like we got some brothers that are um up for the uh, up for all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know
And a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
brothers
be.
I
I didn't
run
know I was gonna
into.
be interviewed. Oh my gosh! Now I gotta like.
Now we just chopping it up. We just chopping it up, Vic. We
I
just
mean,
chopping it up.
you're
But
the only woman. We got to see a
right,
woman's
Oh
point of
my
view. You
right,
know,
goodness
right. It's all
gracious!
good. You good, Vic. You good.
yeah, you
But
good with
I,
us.
I hear that from a lot of people, man, both men and women. They just want peace. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Oh my
they just want
gosh.
peace. Yeah,
That's it. That's it. That's
yeah,
it. It's funny though, because you say that gosh, that was my thing, man. That's all I wanted. Peace. That's
yeah.
peace is paramount. I said it, I said it, and then you sit here, okay, you're alone for you've been in a relationship for 2 years, or like, all right, then be careful what you ask for, because you got some peace,
You
but
got it in
you,
an
yeah,
abundance
yeah,
now.
Got all you
you're
want
all by
now, huh?
yourself. So you have to be very specific in what you say. Say, Lord, I want peace, but let me get. Nah, I'm about to be
But not
funny.
too
Let,
much.
let me get some peace, and let me get a
Just a
little
little
peace
piece.
too.
Yeah,
A
just get a
piece
little
of
piece. Yeah,
peace.
there's a little piece.
Let me get some peace, but I want a piece too, but I don't want no crazy peace. No, no,
That's
that was a
right.
joke. That was a
No,
joke.
no, it's
But
all
no,
good. Vic, you
Like
good
I
over
said,
here, Vicky.
hey,
You good
that's how
over
we do
here.
it. We all grown.
You good
I
over
We
here,
know
and
it.
no
man. I'm
I
telling
kids
you.
know it.
here.
I
Nah,
know
no
it. That
heat,
was
no
funny
judgment
though.
over here, Vicky. No hate, no
But
judgment.
Exactly.
for real, we do say we want peace, and then you sit there and say, okay,
Hmm.
well, okay, God, I got it now, but I'm not with
Got it.
nobody. But you know what? But if you
Hmm.
can't be peaceful with your own self, then
There you go.
and
There
be
you go.
comfortable in your own
There you go.
space, then how can you make
Hmm.
somebody else happy? Or
Right.
how can you? So yeah,
I- If you don't
so
like yourself, you got a problem.
It's a
Yeah.
problem. It's
Yeah,
a
if
problem.
you don't like yourself, you got a problem. For real.
Absolutely.
And it goes back
Absolutely.
to what I was saying earlier about, when people want to have something in life but don't want to put in that work, because we're
Mhm.
not perfect. We weren't born perfect. We pick up everything that we do is something that's learned. The only
Right.
thing that we don't learn is breathing and our heart beating. Everything else
Mhm.
we're learning. All our characteristics, even the way we laugh, all of that is learned.
Right.
But if you get to the point where what you're doing isn't getting you the result that you want, you have
Mhm.
to be willing to make the change.
Right.
So if you want the peace, you have to do what's necessary in order to get that peace. Because praying God, I mean, Yahweh is not a genie. You
Right.
don't rub on the Bible and make a wish and it happens. You have to
No,
do.
he's not a genie, but a lot of people think he's a cosmic Santa Claus. Tell you that.
Right. I'm just saying. So, a lot of people like, oh, I wish.
Mhm.
Okay, Carl Thomas, but you have to put you had to do
Right.
something. You have to do
Faith
something
without works is
is
dead.
right.
Yeah.
And you trying to be Lazarus, but you're not. So,
Mhm.
but I see that a lot in our culture, especially because
Yes.
I will say this because I don't pay as much attention to the other cultures, so I can't say that it's not happening there. So that
Now
means
we ain't got nothing to do with them. We got enough going on over here. We ain't got nothing to do with them.
My grandfather used to say this old adage. He would talk about the birds inside of the tree. He said they were little eaglets that said it was in the nest, and they were little baby eaglets. And every time the babies were hungry, they would open up their mouth, and the mother bird would come and feed the little eaglets. He said, "You gotta have more sense than a bird. Open up your
Damn.
mouth."
Damn.
Well
Shit,
then.
that one almost went over my head. I had to think about that shit. Like, okay, yeah. Wow.
A lot of people don't
man.
have that sense though, man. They stuck on
They
pride,
don't.
and that as the good book says, that pride becomes before a fall. You got to
Yeah,
learn how to open up your mouth, put pride aside. Things will go
Yeah.
different for you. You just may have to get that blessing you've been looking for, but you got to open up your mouth. You got to have more sense than a bird.
I got a new age analogy. I just came up with it.
Okay.
You can't want to drive that car if you don't want to open the door and get in.
You just went deep on us. There you go.
And a lot of people they want to ride in that car, be it a relationship or having a lot of money or whatever it is. They want to ride in that car, but they don't want to do what it takes to even get in the car, let alone learning how to drive it or how to do whatever, put on the seatbelt. You don't even want to open the door.
They don't want to
You
do the
definitely
work.
ain't
bro.
going to, right. That's it. You don't want to do the work.
They don't want to do the work.
And that goes for anything worth having is worth working for. Now the old folks told us that. And it may not, and it hasn't changed.
It ain't changed. Nah, it still takes what it takes, bro.
Yeah.
It still takes what it takes. If you want to be successful, it still takes what it takes.
Right.
Ain't no way around that.
Success is gauged however you want to gauge. Success is, whether you're in a healthy relationship. Success is whether you're in the field that you want to be in it, whether you're, whether you're happy doing whatever you're doing and you consider it success, you have to put some type of work towards it.
Right. And in this society, success is having money, especially for men. Having money. Because if you're a man and you ain't got no money, you ain't shit.
And some of the most miserable people in the world.
You ain't shit without no money. That's just
and
the way it is.
Because because it's more about what we said on, what was the show we had before? It's more about material over mental.
Yeah.
You got all that and still sad. Still ain't happy.
You still gotta money, but it's a lot of people misguided and put it in the forefront, but it's just a tool to help you make life easier. That's all money is, man.
But you still got to know how to use the tools. Any tool you have, you got to know how to use it.
Just use it as a tool.
Yeah.
A lot of emphasis be put on the glorification of it and the glamorization of it, but it's just a tool, man. Help you access life better.
Hey, they have hammers and try to use it where they should use a screwdriver. That ain't gonna work,
Right.
bro.
Nah.
That ain't gonna work. You're gonna be
I
there
remember
all
having
day.
conversation about that. It was one gentleman that stood up here and he misquoted the Bible, and you got to be careful about what it says in Scripture, right? Because he was saying, well, the money is the root of all evil. He said the money is the root of all evil. He said, but why do a lot of churches sit up here and ask for it? I said, well, you misquoted the Scripture. I said, it said the love of money.
There you
The
go.
love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So
True,
you gotta, as you said, Funky Uncle G, you gotta know how to be able to use it, in order for
right
to
to
be
make
able
life
to
easier.
Yeah, to make life easier. It's not to be that money is the glorification or that it's this vain thing. Money is a tool, but so many people think that money is everything, and it's not. That's just like no different than anything else. A vainglory is nothing. So you got to be careful about what you're doing, and like no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Better believe it. Better believe it.
You're right, man. But hey, let me say this, and I gotta go after this. I want to get y'all thoughts on this, and I gotta go because I gotta go to sleep and go to work. I gotta be at the plantation in the morning, so I gotta get. But it's just a thought now, just a thought that came across my mind when I was driving today. Why don't Black churches preach about Black Jesus? We're already in the Bible.
I have a partial answer.
Okay.
I have a partial answer.
Okay.
For one, and for the main thing is because there's not much new being taught. So there's not much new being taught. Whatever the slave master gave, that's what's been passed down through generation to generation to generation to generation. And it sucks that. Like I said, it's a partial answer,
but
because the proof is there. The proof is there, but it's like, okay, it's like they don't want to offend the elders of the church. Because when was the last time that you talked to one of the elders, like the elders of the church, like them people in their 80s, and you try to tell them something that they were taught biblically?
Man,
that they were taught wrong.
Preacher. I got an uncle that's a preacher. Me and him go back and forth.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
And I posed the same question to him. I said, why don't you just preach about Black Jesus since you're already in the church?
Yeah. I'll give you an answer. Let's start 100 years ago. Up to 100 years ago. I didn't live 100 years ago. Well, let's go even like 20 years ago. Let's
know
go
how it
20
was,
years
though.
ago. Right. So let's go back 20 years ago. All right. And a lot of the things that we used to be taught, what's called hermeneutics and the interpretation of Scripture, we would look at, for instance, the different sayings about, like for instance, cultures. Which is a very big thing, right? You're thinking about going into other countries, or you think about the Ethiopian eunuch. He was from Africa, right? There are a lot of things that are ingrained from the motherland that didn't have didn't have the specificity of Black skin unless it was spoken about in Scripture. So you didn't necessarily have to say that they were Black. So let's just say, for instance, you go to Africa today. And think of it, just, common sense wise, you go in there, are everybody calling themselves Black inside of Africa? No, they're not. No, but we come in here in America, it's a different culture. We identify they identify with Black or colored or whatever it is. It's a big thing here in America, but it's not like that now, because most of them are what we consider them to be from America's standpoint because of our culture. So look at what the rooting is, first of all, of what the Bible stems from. a lot of those peoples was from Moab. A lot of them people had relocated to European countries and stuff like that, or whatever, from the motherland, right? They didn't have the culture that we did or existed today. We didn't have to necessarily say, well, this is a black Jesus versus a white Jesus, or this or that. It wasn't a white or black thing. It was more or less the culture and what you represented. It was either
But what
you were
what
of
does
the
the Bible
European,
what does the Bible describe it, man?
the culture from where you were at. Like, for instance,
I'm
if
talking
we
about
were,
Revelations. I'm talking about Revelations, the first chapter, 14th and 15th verse. The book of
well, you
Revelation.
gotta, well, that is a very heavy topic, because a lot of that is metaphorical. You know, a lot of that has symbolic, symbolism. Like, for instance, it said that he was his feet was of brass, and his hair was like wool. Things of that. He's depicting the visualization of the Christ and the coming. So
Describing him.
right, describing him in the coming. So these are symbolic to a lot of things.
Yeah,
that
but when you say his foot was the color of brass, looked like it was burnt in a furnace. And if you burn anything in a furnace, what color is going to turn?
Charcoal.
Nah, brother, come on now. If you put something in a furnace,
It's going to turn.
and you burn it,
It's
going
gonna
to turn black.
And matter of fact, if it's brass is already a dark bronze color.
But it's burnt.
But
Yeah.
my
Anything
point is
burnt is black.
Yeah,
right.
That's
Yeah,
my point.
okay.
I said,
Yeah.
isn't charcoal black?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, but you gave me another color. And I'm like,
No, I didn't.
No.
Okay,
All right.
So my
Yeah.
point is this: you can say a color, but it wasn't a color. It wasn't a question about color. Then is what I'm saying. You can be of a different ethnic background. Like, let's say, for instance, you could be Chinese and still be black in skin color. You can
Only
be
if your daddy black. If your daddy black.
When you think about it in
Yeah.
European countries versus Chinamen, or you think about it in Africa, depending on wherever that sun is hitting you, the melatonin in your skin is going to dictate how dark your skin is going to be. I'll just leave it like that. So when
that
you
DNA.
Yeah. So that's
But
that's
yeah,
the way
I just wanted to know y'all. Vicky, let me get your thoughts on it. Why don't the black church preach about black Jesus?
I don't know. I go
Mhm.
to I go to a church, and it's I stay in this area here where it's a lot of ethnicities, a lot of different races, a lot of different colors. It's a lot of white people in there. It's a lot of whatever. It's a multi church right here in my
Right.
area, and nobody's
Mhm.
ever saying anything about color. And so
Right.
when I go to church, I don't hear anybody saying anything about it. And whenever they do say anything about color, politics, or anything like that, I get a little bit of turned away, because that's not what I want to hear about. I know about my race. I know about the struggles we have, and when I'm going for a spiritual healing, I want to hear about what how grateful I am for what he's done for me, what different things I have. And so I haven't had anybody to ever teach me about just a black or different color, whatever
Mhm.
melanin is in a person, or in our holy, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to just talk about me. I don't look for that. So I don't know why they
Okay.
don't do it, which I'm
Mhm.
glad the church that I go to don't, because it would turn me off a little bit.
Mhm.
Not just because
Okay.
that's not what I'm looking for when I go there. I
I
don't know if that
got you.
answers your question.
No, I just wanted to know y'all thoughts on it because it came
Yeah.
across my mind. I just thought I'd
hmm
find out y'all
Yeah.
thoughts on it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if
it.
you
That's
think
it.
about it,
Mhm.
if you think about it again, just when a lot of people reference the Revelation, when they're describing Jesus, but you got to think about it. It wasn't describing a physical appearance. It was describing uh, the visionary context of his coming. So unless you look at the context of the scripture, you're going to look at that, and like a lot of people do, and be like, well, you know what? He's black. He's black. He's black. Jesus didn't. God doesn't have a color. He created all of us, and I think
Well,
that's.
he from the tribe of Judah, so that's lineage part.
But when
makes
you
him
when you
black.
talk about Judah, what is that? Is it a
Mhm.
color or is it a culture?
It's a lineage.
Yeah.
Is it a culture or a skin
Yes,
color?
the Jewish culture. Yes, Judah.
Yeah.
All
That's the
right.
Jewish
So
lineage.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's what I'm
I mean,
talking
that's
about.
in the Bible now. That's not my words, brother. Those are not my
Yeah,
No,
words.
and we're
No,
talking about
those aren't my
Jews,
words.
not Jewish. You know, because there's a
Right,
difference between the Jews and the Jewish.
right. The ones over there
Jewish
now
is,
are Jewish, just like
and that's a
something's blue, but not really. Blue is bluish. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's a
sort of what it
religion,
is.
you know, and nothing in the
Right.
Bible speaks of a
Exactly.
religion.
Exactly.
Nothing
No,
in the Bible
religion is
speaks of a religion.
man-made.
Yeah,
Religion is man-made. Christianity is not even in the Bible.
right.
So I'm gonna leave that at that. I gotta go
Right.
to
It's
work.
not. It's
Y'all
not.
continue. Y'all continue the show. It's been lovely. And next week, Wednesday, we shall return. And
Oh,
you
I
know,
think I have something for y'all next week too.
yeah, I got a topic too. This was good conversation. And Vicky, glad to
I
have
got
you.
some guests.
Please come
Thank
back.
you so much. Thank you so
All
much. You
right.
rest well
All
and
right.
have a good day at work tomorrow.
Hey,
Thank you
I
guys for
appreciate
inviting
it.
me.
No
Hey, my
problem.
pleasure.
Mhm.
Gentlemen, y'all have a good evening. HD, Kwamo. I don't know who the brother is down here.
Kwame left.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, y'all be safe, man. Have a good one.
All
You
right.
too, my
Night.
brother.
All right, brother. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Vicky, how's your experience on the Funky Uncles? Your first experience?
It's very nice. I mean, I guess I probably could have said what exactly is this, but you know what? I'm in for different stuff, so I like it. I like to hear some different thoughts and some educated brothers and some just somebody not even educated but just wise. Man, I don't know because I don't know any of you. I don't know what your background is, but I like to talk and I like to hear um us talk about different topics. So I'm sure I'll be back. It's fun.
Good, good. I
I
appreciate that.
left. I
We
did leave
appreciate
because
that.
you're welcome. I did because whenever I spoke with early and used like a show, I was like, okay, what kind of show? I thought you was talking about some talk like a television show. I was like, what in the world? You going to a concert? But this is even better. This is
Yeah,
better.
yeah. See, we are real life people. We don't live the life of celebrities. So, their
Mhm,
life, we're on the outside looking in. We're looking at things that affect us as
mhm,
average people, where we'll hold a conversation about anything. And
mhm,
even, things that affect the average people that may not be us, which is why I alluded to the possible guests for next week, even though our guests from
mhm,
this week weren't able to make it. I hope everything's
mhm,
okay with Zika and her son.
mhm.
Next week, I'll tell y'all, I'm looking towards having some people from the LS come in and really inform us on the truths of what they do. HD was here when we had the young lady who was in the BDSM, and so it was a shock to a lot of people, but it was
Oh,
informative.
we talking about like sadomasochism, that kind of stuff. Is that what that is? Like the sharing? What is it? We're talking about
Yeah,
the whipping and the beating.
she gets tied up, and yeah, and then she's
Oh
also
yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. Let's hear about that next
see
week then.
see
I like it.
matter of fact, you can go back to the show from I see that you subscribe to the channel. You go back to the
I
show
did.
from the 9th of October,
Mm-hmm.
and you can listen to that show. I also wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have some people with different kinks, and it's a big world out there, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people doing a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not hurting anybody, but this is the life you live and you're happy, there's going to be other people out here who feel a certain way. They don't know that they have kindred spirits out there doing XYZ. And then we have other people who are assuming certain things about people that just aren't
Right.
true. Why not just go ahead and get the information? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because you never know. You can network with these people. There's a lot of people out here into the kinks, into the lifestyle, into These are people who, you know, are doing things with their lives. They're
Yeah.
out here, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're in real estate, they're into a lot of different professions. But it's just, you know, like Eddie Murphy said, what was that in Delirious? It's just when you leave the office, you know, they do their thing, you do your thing. There's no shaming, there's no judgment. There's just, okay, you just into something different. Like, you know, you might eat pork. I don't eat pork. I might joke with you and say, ew, you got them hog balls and them chitlins and all that. But at the same time, we still cool, you know? So that's the type of thing that I'm into. There's so many different things, like I said, going on in this world that we don't know about, and to be able to educate ourselves on them, and in a manner where we're not coming in prejudging them or having any type of bias, just looking to understand what they're doing, even if you don't understand the why. But
Yeah.
say, hey, this is what's out here. I know that this is out of you. You know, somebody in the street's gonna come up to you and tell you, "Oh, they do." No, that's not how they do. Don't even start that. I talk to some people. That's not even a part of what they do. So go on with the ignorance. We don't do that on this side.
Yeah. So how do you guys come up with the topics? You just kind of like, is it each one of your members here comes up with the topic and you discuss it, several different topics during the show, or you have a main one and go from there?
Normally, whatever topic we start on, unless we have a guest, it doesn't stay there.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like
Okay.
barbershop banter. But if anybody
Okay.
has a topic, we have a group chat where if anybody wants to bring up anything, hey, bring it up. We're going to sit there and chop it up. And then somebody say, oh, I have another topic. So we just roll from there. It's like, you know, brothers just getting together and having a conversation. So, you know,
Okay.
when I tell people to come on and maybe whatever they are, I tell them it's not an interview, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
That's good
yeah.
stuff. That's good stuff. So if you ever want to, I have been a nurse for 32 years. And if you ever want a topic on, and I'm not trying to teach nobody, but have your brothers or your sisters just in different like so I work in a place where we have kidney failure. I work in a dialysis center where
Dialysis, okay.
where that because of people's comorbidities, be it most of them are blood pressure issues and diabetes, they cause kidney failure. And then
Mm.
it's a cascade of different things. So if you ever have a topic where you want to talk about some of the health disparities that we have, I'll be interested in chiming in on that too. So just not that because I'm not an Uncle Funky, which y'all call it, a funky
A
auntie,
funky uncle.
a funky auntie. I can be a funky aunt, whatever, and say some things. I ain't funky though. Okay,
Hey,
okay,
if you was born anytime around the 70s or the 60s or the late 60s,
yeah,
early 70s in that area, you funky, just with the rest
yeah,
of us.
yeah. 71, I'm funky then. So
No, see,
yeah,
you right there with us. Then you in that funk era. You
right. Good stuff.
George
Good stuff.
Benson and all them boys. We in the
Good
funk era.
stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right,
Yeah.
fellas. It was nice talking to you guys. And so every Wednesday night is when you do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, cool beans. Well, um, I'll try to I'm subscribed now, so I'll maybe get a notification or something like that too. I think I could put that on there too so I can get a notification when something happens. So yeah, it's good
Yeah,
stuff. Thank you guys
and
for
it's on
inviting
my
me.
Facebook wall as well. So you know,
Okay,
I
okay.
have it double streaming.
Cool beans, cool beans. Okay. All right. Good stuff.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We'll go ahead and shut it down. We made it to an hour and 20 tonight. Boy, we were rolling in this piece tonight. Ooh-wee. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We gonna have a final thought. We're gonna start with the guest, the brand new guest, Miss Vicky. Do you have a final thought for the night?
Um, my final thought is we're gonna make it through whatever amount of years we have in this politics, and we're gonna be just fine. Whatever God has for us is for us, and we will be okay. God got us. That is
Oh,
my final thought.
okay, okay,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm,
We
mhm,
slide
mhm.
to the brother HD, my brother Uncle HD. High
think it's
definition.
important. I think going along with what you were actually stating, I think it's important to get the set the record straight as far as teaching. As you was mentioning to Vicky, I think that's very important when we do our study, our due diligence. Even the Bereans, it says even in Scripture that they study daily to see what if Paul was stating or truly teaching them were correct. So we have to be more than noblemen in order to know what is really truly being taught out here in the world. It's important to actually know those thoughts and everything, just like he mentioned, like Christians. And I want to set the record straight that the word Christians are in the Scripture. If anybody wants to look at that, that's in the book of Acts. But Christianity is not. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So,
Right.
but it's good to be able to know the distinction and being able to be acceptable about other people's views in order that we may be guided along to be taught, you know. And it's not just my way, and it's not just anybody's way. It's about both figuring out at that particular point what is the lesson being taught, what is the actual wording. So that's my final thoughts.
All
Do
righty.
you do
All righty.
diligence?
Well, hey, my final thoughts are: don't worry about what's going on in these areas that we can't control. The things that we can control and the things that we can learn are the things we need to grab a hold of. Everything else will fall into place. That's it.
This is true. That was
Like
good.
So I'd like to thank everybody. Let's see that came on tonight. I'd like to thank everybody that has chimed in and watched. We'll watch later. If you haven't subscribed to Funky Uncles Presents, share with your friends. Tell the people, hey, they need to try to come on and have a conversation with us because it's all in love and fun and edutainment, all wrapped up in one. So until next week, when we have our scheduled guest to actually come in, and it's going to be a hoot. So I want you to go ahead next week, strap up, get your seat out your car, put it in the house, and put your seatbelt on because it's going to be a ride.
All right.
All right, and with that, let me go ahead and turn this back on. And I give the Funky Uncle salute. Let me get over here in the camera. Oh, there he goes. And I'm out.
Salute.
Salute.
Good night.
Right.